The electoral wipeout of the coalition on the weekend has raised questions about the future of the coalition and its modern-day relevance, particularly in the city. Joining us live now is National Senator Bridget McKenzie. Bridget, good to see you this morning. Thank you so much for your time. So, look, it was brutal on the weekend, brutal. I was so surprised at the margin of that victory, given that we are in a cost of living crisis where most folks' wages have gone backwards, yet the government gets a majority.
Yeah.
What do you put it down to?
Oh, I don't think there's any one reason. I think today you've got great local MPs who've lost their job, struggling with that result. We've got 150 candidates who have worked their guts out during the campaign, won't be heading to Parliament, a lot of those. And I think for those of us in the leadership team, it's been an incredible shock to watch those results roll in on Saturday night.
So what did you get wrong?
And to sort of see the loss of Peter Dutton's seat.
Yeah.
You know, a great guy who's given incredible service to not just the Liberal Party, but the Parliament and our country, lose his own seat. So there's obviously deep questions that need to be asked, and there needs to be a really serious, comprehensive analysis that is going to take an honest appraisal of what went wrong. And it's, you know, the campaign, the strategy, the tactics, policies, our research. You can't recorrect direction if you don't have decent information to base your decisions on. And how do we communicate and engage with Australians? You know, our policies in the main, you know, I thought we took a really good policy suite to the election, addressing many of the issues that you're talking about for Australians, but how do we communicate that with people? Not everyone reads papers every day.
So first of all, nuclear, you got to throw that in the bin now?
Well, I've been a huge fan of nuclear and the National Party. It's been a policy position for over a decade for us. We do need a comprehensive solution to the energy crisis that we'll be facing. We know 100% renewables won't work. So what is our energy? Well, what worked was Labor's weaponisation of the $600 million price tag and the cuts that were going to, you know, wrongly have to be made to pay for it. Now, that was false advertising by the Labor Party there, and it worked. So the scare campaign tactics that the Labor Party used, particularly around nuclear and the price tag, which wasn't the price, was successful. But that doesn't mean you should actually throw out a solution to our energy sovereignty.
So you still want to keep it, even though you're...
Yeah, we need to solve the actual problem, Pete. Now, how we communicate that to the Australian public, we've got nuclear subs being docked in Perth in 2027. That's actually happening. So at some point now, the Labor Party is going to have to deal with the reality of the flow-on effects of AUKUS around the nuclear question. There's a bunch of questions I've got to squeeze in 2 minutes, Bridget, so I'm going to have to be rapid fire. OK, rapid fire.
What are the Nationals' demands going to be now? I mean, you Nats did well. You did OK. You held on. The Libs did not. So you're going to make up a bigger part of the coalition now. Will you be demanding more front-bench positions?
Well, I think we need to wait. There's 14 seats still in doubt. We need to wait for the count. We want to see what happens in Bullwinkle, Longman, and we also want to see what happens in Bendigo. We're currently ahead of the count with 2 pre-poll booths and some postals being counted on the weekend. Now, that's a massive win if we can fall over the line in Bendigo. So we're going to wait till the end of the count.
There is an interesting dilemma that's emerged when it comes to the coalition, because you're going to make up a bigger part of the coalition now because of the success that you've just pointed out there, but you've shed city votes. So how does that work in terms of getting them back with more regional voices on the coalition team?
Well, I think, OK, so from my own portfolio area, infrastructure, transport and regional development, the infrastructure we're investing in is in the cities. So to say that just because you come from the country, you can't have a viable and reasonable and attractive proposition for urban voters is an incorrect assumption, firstly. So I think it is about the engagement, the communication. And as I said earlier, We've got to be focused on all of Australia and having a viable proposition. So that's something that
So you don't think there should be a break-up with the coalition while the Libs go find themselves?
Well, the Libs have to, have a deep look at an examination about who they are in the modern era. But as I said, the campaign proper, turns out the polls were right, and they disagreed with the polls we were getting and the information we were getting.
Who would you like to see as a Liberal leader?
I'll leave that to the Liberal Party room. Not my first rodeo with that one.
I thought you might have to say that, but look,
we had the Nats had a great campaign.
So do you think, and I'm out of time here, but do you think that you might be in opposition until the 2030s though? I mean, with 2 elections ahead of you, that's a likely scenario. Can the coalition survive? Can it even find a way back here?
Absolutely, Peter. And I think for those of us that are ultimately Democrats with a little d, we believe the people don't get it wrong ever in a democracy like ours. We have compulsory preferential voting. And I think the Labor Party, if you look at their primary vote, was very good at structuring their campaign and communicating with segments of the community that meant they could capitalise, despite having a low primary, win an historic victory. So we need to look at how we can work within that system.
You need more women too, I think. Look at the Teal movement, look at the Labor pickups in Queensland, all women.
Yeah, I think young people and women, but let's not forget all women. It's not groupthink when it comes to women, but women need to see us as an attractive place to put their vote.
OK. Bridget, good to see you this morning.
Thank you, mate.
We'll talk to you again soon.